All right, welcome to another episode of Harness News Live. It's your host, Trey Colbeck. We got Ace behind the scenes, like always. Got a lot to talk about. We'll recap the action that went down on Saturday night on the North America Cup night. We also had some 2-year-old races, some of the first 2-year-old races of the year at Woodbine Mohawk Park. A couple milestones to talk about. Eliminations for at stake races in Century Downs. Pemberton looking promising, and of course our Harness Link correspondent Focus. We'll first tee up here with the recap of the big night. I was excited to take in my first weekend of racing at Woodbine Mohawk Park. The biggest Grand Circuit card of the year so far went down at Woodbine Mohawk Park on Saturday, North America Cup night. It was something. It was crazy. There were 5 major stake races and even more on the card for purses totaling $2.58 million. The first race produced one of the biggest or craziest moments of the night, despite not even being a stake race. Warrawee Vital flew in the $40,000 Open to tie a track and Canadian record in 146 and 4. Let's take a look at that stretch drive.
Rolling up late comes Century Heineken, even wider codename Cigar Box, and Roll with the Flow. But this is a first race beatdown. Warrawee Vital is gone, and he leads by 8 lengths. A dazzling display of speed tonight for Warrawee Vital. Check out the clock. Big mile here, 146 and 4.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a stake race. That was just the preferred. Then we kept going on with the day. The first stake race saw a big upset. Refined exploded in the deep stretch to catch heavy favorite Bella Bellini to win the $210,000 Armbro flight. Let's take a look at here. Refined winning this one.
Now for Dunn and trots away to a 2-length lead. Back into second at the inside is raised by Lindy, then Refined on the outside. Scooting through at the rail of Dare Castle, it's Bella Bellini on top. Here with a late rush comes Refined, and upset-minded Refined is coming on. And McNair timed it perfect as Refined hauls down Bella Bellini for the Armbro flight stunner in 152.
That was crazy. If Bella Bellini held on, I think the number 5 horse would have won 5 straight times to start it, but Refined upset that one. Moving on to the good time, Southwind Coors proved toughest in extended stretch battle with Gaines Hanover and won the $250,000 race in a photo. Let's look at that close finish here.
3/4 of a mile in 123 and 4, and they turn for home, and it's Gaines Hanover under attack as Southwind Coors lets him have it. Here off cover comes Tuscan Prince wide and driving. They're 3 across in the good times. Still there, Gaines Hanover. Southwind Coors giving him all he can handle. Tuscan Prince on the grandstand side. Down the center, Southwind Coors. Gaines Hanover in a fight for his life. Gaines Hanover, Southwind Coors the upper hand. Gaines Hanover tries to fight back. Southwind Coors and Gaines Hanover in a good time. Golden finish. Fantastic photo finish in the good times. Stay tuned for more.
Yeah, so it's crazy finish there. It was the first Grand Circuit win for Southwind Coors and a new lifetime mark of 152. The time tied the track and Canadian record for 3-year-old trotting geldings. The sophomore gelding trained by Matt Bax has now earned over $246,000. It was the first big win of the night for Scott Zeron, but certainly was not his last. We also had Buck a Bet Hanover winning the $100,000 Mohawk Gold Cup amid an accident that took place in the final turn. Buck a Bet Hanover, driven by Andrew McCarthy, was stepping around leader Billy Clyde after a 3-wide move to take the lead. Fortunately, Billy Clyde then broke stride and backed into Wheels on Fire. Wheels on Fire stumbled and fell, and this caused a chain reaction that resulted in Which Way to the Beach, with Travis Cullen falling and much more of the field being scattered or around, caused some confusion there. Both horses were okay. McNair would continue to drive on the night, which we'll see him a little bit later too, while Travis Cullen was taken in ambulance and reportedly did go seek some medical attention. The results stood, and Buck a Bet Hanover got a new lifetime mark of 147 and 2. He's now 2 for 2 this year for trainer Andrew Harris. But like I said, we'll move on now to see some more things here with McNair, he had Grace Hill impressed in the $305,000 Roses Are Red, setting a stakes track and Canadian record. She soared down the stretch for McNair and won by 2.5 lengths over Silver Label. And this was just the race following the accident which McNair was involved in. Let's see this stretch drive.
Is Silver Label. Treacherous Dragon on the far outside. Not tonight. She came up flat. 3/4 in 21-1. And Grace Hill is packing. Grace Hill's up front by 2. Back into second, Silver Label. Kobe's Gigi and so much more. It is Grace Hill. A monster performance in the Roses Are Red as she wins by 2.5 lengths in 1:47-4. A stakes track and Canadian record mile for Grace Hill.
Big fist pump there by Doug McNair. The win put Grace Hill to 5-5 on the year and gave her a new lifetime mark. The Virgil Morgan trained mare has now earned over $1.4 million in her career. And that just was, again, like one race after McNair was involved in the accident. So let's hear from him in the post-race interview clip.
Like 15, 20 minutes ago, I'm laying on the track not knowing what's going on. And next thing you know, I'm standing in the winning circle for the Roses Are Red, one of the greatest mares I've ever seen through a bridle, I think.
Yeah, there we go. She was really superb and appears ready to do more damage this season. Moving on to the next one here. We have Sylvia Hanover then tied a stakes track and Canadian record as she romped through the $420,000 Fan Hanover. She battled on the lead with Twin B Joe Fresh while turning for home and exploded for Bob McClure coming down the stretch. Her mile time of 1:48-2 tied the record set by American Jewel in 2012. Let's take a look here of Sylvia Hanover and her winning effort. Oh, sorry, just kidding. We don't have this clip. That's my fault there. It was a big win for Canadian Connections trainer Sean Stacey and owners Hudson Standard Stables. The filly is perfect through 3 starts this year and 11 for 12 lifetime. Winning the Fan Hanover made her racing newest millionaire. The big show came up next, the one that we were all here for. It was a big show, and It's My Show made it his. The gelding circled to the lead from the pocket in the second quarter and led into the lane. Confederate came up after him with a late surge, but It's My Show hung on by a head to win the Pepsi North America Cup in 1:47-4. Should have this clip ready to
Pass
go.
By 1:20-4, 26-4 speed. They're into the stretch, and It's My Show on that lead. Pressure on the outside comes now from Fulton. Inside, Save America. Confederate cut loose off cover. They're in deep stretch, and It's My Show. Here's Confederate with a relentless rally from the backfield. Confederate comes after It's My Show. It's My Show's almost there. A late push from Confederate. It's My Show wins the big show. In 1:47-4, the Pepsi North.
There we go. What a finish there. It's My Show took a new lifetime mark in the victory. It was also the second North America Cup for Xeron, and it's the first for trainer Linda Toscano and the owners Richard Young and Joanne Young. And let's hear from the special moment here from Richard Young.
It means a lot. I'm a Canadian. You may not know that. And I've been in business for 30 some odd years. And his brother won the Meadowlands Pace 4 years ago. And he was in the North America Cup, and he finished 6th, I think. And so I hadn't had a horse between them. So coming back and winning this one, it was almost like back-to-back. So it was really cool. Well, you've got...
There we go. There's the owner again talking on the performance of his young pacer there. It's My Show is unbeaten in 6 starts this year after going 0 for 8 as a 2-year-old. So big comeback there. He has now earned over $649,000 lifetime. The time of 1:47-4 is tied for the second fastest in history of the race and set a new track and Canadian record for 3-year-old pacing geldings. The handle was just over. For the whole day, the handle was just over $5.25 million on the night, the 3rd highest in North America Cup history. The Cup itself drew in $653,000 in wagering, the highest since 2015. Amazing night of racing there. Yeah, we got some people watching. We got Debbie watching from Central Georgia. Thank you for tuning in. And watching from Scotland, Nicholas. Thank you for joining us. I didn't know how we were popular in Scotland. Good to know. But we'll move on to some more racing at Woodbine Mohawk. We had the 2-year-olds first time here hitting the track at Woodbine Mohawk Park. The first the first race was for 2-year-old Pacing Fillies. Saw some stunning final quarter speed. Pass line and all bets off. Filly came home in 25-3 to win. This was off a 128 1/3 at the hands of Louis Philippe Waugh. All horses in the field who remained on gate paced their final quarters in 27 seconds or faster. Singing in the Rain also closed in 25-3, finishing fourth. Pass Line, a homebred filly for Burke Racing Stable, and Weaver Bruchemi completed her mile in 1:54-1. The second race was for Trotters, which was also impressive. Top Mass, the Walner Colt, came home in 27-2 while blowing the doors open in a 7.25 length win. His mile time was 1:57-2, but driver James McDonald had him under wraps nearing the finish. Top Mass was making his career debut. The colt is trained by Desiree Jones or Gino Toscani of Mount Hope. Mercury Deal and What About Elmo, two other horses in the field, closed in 27 seconds flat. Wow. We also had the next 2-year-old race at Woodbine Mohawk Park is set for this Friday, when there will be one dash for trotting fillies. Couple of milestones of a great significance were hit this weekend. We had Kevin Switzer Jr. and Tony Alanya. Switzer collected his 3,000th driving win on Saturday at Cumberland Raceway. The main base driver won with El Jacko in the rain and was graded with a place card in the winners. A placard in the winning circles. He is now up to 3,004 wins and has over 16,000 starts for earnings of $14.1 million. He made his racing debut in 2003. For trainer Tony Alanya, he reached 2,000 wins at Pocono on Sunday. The trainer, a regular Grand Circuit contender, took the milestone with Saldana Hanover in the 5th race. Alanya became a full-time trainer in 2010, and he has totaled over 10,508 starts. He has taken 212 wins in back-to-back seasons and racked up career earnings over $70 million. So congratulations to those two, and I expect a lot more out of them. Now we're going to go back to west here to Century Downs. They had a few stake race eliminations for the 3-year-old fillies. They had the Shirley McClellan Breeders' Stake. There was 3 eliminations, so the top 3 will move on to this upcoming final. In the first elimination, we had Festivus with the win in 1:56-1. She was followed by Caviar and Crackers, and the third place was Promise Kept. In the second elimination, My Little Chloe wins in 1:58-2, followed by Super Cozy in second, and Waiting on a Woman in third. And the third and final elimination, we had GT's Skyla winning the fastest in this series in 1:55 flat. Cora finished second, with Handcuff finishing third. The 3-year-old Colts and Geldings had 2 eliminations in the Moore's Mile Breeder Stake. Just because 2 eliminations, probably the top 4 with one other one will draw in. So here's the top 4 in the first elimination. You have Virtual Horizon winning in 1:55 flat with Campbell in the bike, with Brandon Campbell in the bike, sorry. And Handsome Dan finished second. Tin Can Timmy finished third, and Over the Horizon finished fourth. In the second elimination, we had General Custard with David Kelly winning in 1:56-1, followed by Catfish Jack in second, Opulent Dragon in third, and Lumber Baron in fourth. Both $90,000 finals will go this upcoming Saturday, 1:15 local Alberta Mountain Time, 3:15 Eastern Time. Like I said, as of the time the show started 10 minutes ago, the condition or the entries weren't out yet for Saturday's race, but we'll talk about that on Saturday. for we'll definitely talk about that on Saturday, the finals. We also have Pemberton made a statement win on Monday. The 6-year-old gelding, who saw limited success last year, blew by the entire field at Woodbine Mohawk Park to set a new lifetime best at 152-1. Let's take a look at that clip.
Walking the Moon. Inside goes with him. Then overland from in third is Esplosione. Here on the far outside comes Giganda. Pemberton starts to unwind from last here for Walker, 3/4 in 124-4. On that lead, it's Walking the Moon. Outside Tokyo Sealster, but if you're not watching Pemberton is trotting up a storm on the far outside. Pemberton sails right by them all. And it's Pemberton with a smack of the wheel disc. Late heel wind going away. Pemberton comes to the line and wins as he pleases.
Big win there. He dominated the Ontario Sire Series Stakes at 3 in 2022, but missed his entire 2021 season due to injury. He won 1 of 12 races last year while showing flashes of his past ability, but wrapped up the season after successive breaks in October. He returned at the start of the month, finishing 7th in his yearly debut, but closed strongly to miss by a neck on June the 13th. He has now earned $419,000 in 25 starts and won 10 of those starts. A full-strength Pemberton could become another contender at the top level. Real quick before we wrap up, we'll do our daily Harness Link correspondent focus, starting with Brad Reed from New Zealand. He broke the news of the transfer of Sire King of the North going to Down Under. So big news there from Mr. Reed. John Barry, the great John Barry, featured amateur drivers in his main attraction column. John Barry's always a good read in all of his main attraction columns. Myself, I also updated my column, The Trey's 2 cents worth, with an optimistic take of the industry. Anyone who knows me personally knows I'm more of a glass half empty guy. So if I'm writing something that comes glass half full, that's pretty big news. We also had Bruce Stewart posted the first of a 2-part series with Dean Shannon, CEO of Entain, which has partnered with New Zealand Tab. So that's big news there. We had Nicholas Barnsdale provided live coverage of the North America Cup. The kid was unreal there. Never got off his laptop for a second, so he had everything taken care of there. When I just got to sit back and watch the races, it was a good night. Kim Rinker looked at the success of Sire, Bit of a Legend, and Terry Gaines rode on the Aussie Pride and Just Believe, who has been repping the country now in Sweden. Wow, that's everything for today. We'll be back again Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Like I said, we'll probably talk about the Century Down stuff. There'll be loads more of big circuit racing going on that we'll talk about. So again, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern, and again, next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. On behalf of Ace Behind the Scenes, everyone at Harness Link, and myself, Trey Colbeck, take care. See you next time.